everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Bish's RV. It's 15 degrees, but I'm smiling because I got a fun one behind me, the 27RR Grey Wolf. People ask all the time, why is it seems like almost every travel trailer toy hauler I see has like a one-room, wide-open living room garage combo, and like when my stuff is loaded into it, I lose the ability to like use my kitchen and all that. That sucks. I want travel stops. That's where this guy comes in right here. Now, it's an interesting floor plan in that I really feel like the goal of this one was Cherokee saying, I want to make something that's really going to be half-ton towable and still give people a slide out and still give people a private garage. Whether they accomplished that or not, I'm going to leave up to you, and I'd like you to sound off in the comment section and tell me, here's the information I'm going to give you to kind of help you come to that conclusion either way. It's about 6,300 pounds dry weight. And when you hear that, you're like, yeah, that should be half-ton towable, right? Well, I don't know. And here's why I say that. It is long. People hear a model number, 27. Okay, it's a 27-footer. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I want to make sure that I keep folks safe when I make these videos, and I'm not going to sell you something that's going to get you hurt. It is longer than 27 feet, which puts some half-tons at a disadvantage. It is also only 6,300 pounds dry weight. You got to remember, you're going to load stuff in this. Being a toy hauler, you're probably going to try to load a lot of stuff in this. The other thing is, if you're camping off-grid, some people like to haul some water in the tanks. That's going to be another thing. So at the end of the day, personally, I feel it is a bit much for most conventional half-tons. That's my personal assessment. I think almost any 3/4 ton is going to yank this thing around the country, uphill, downhill, both ways. In the snow, doesn't matter. Obviously, you know, limited snow. Anyway, you get the point. That's my personal 2 cents. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Now, you know what? I've already talked enough. Let's get going. Sorry, I get on a ramble here. Parkour! Parkour! Now, I'm actually starting here in the bathroom, looking back at the garage, 3 seasons room, dining area, well, second dining area, outdoor patio, potential guest or bunk space, depending on how you want to use this thing. And that's what's cool about this camper. It gives us the ability, a lot more like a fifth wheel toy hauler, because it has this private separated garage. By the way, this is an 11-foot garage. We'll touch more on that in just a minute here. What I want to showcase first, though, is, you know, because this one can be all closed up, it can totally function like a separate room here. And it's that super flexibility that this one gives us that I really like. Like, for instance, you know, you often see these folded down into one big bed, and frankly, we're going to see that in just a minute, but nothing says that's what you have to do. If you have 2 kids, you want to have separated bunk spaces, or if you have some adult friends over, you're doing some buddy camping, this is a nice way to give people their own separate private sleeping spaces. Or you could always put the table down and then use your 2 backrest cushions to put up the, what I'm going to call, don't touch me dividers. Or, again, you can always fold it down into like a, at least 2 adult, big, giant, mega sleeper that, frankly, I think is bigger than the master bed in total square foot. But at the end of the day, you know, we are still categorizing this thing as a toy hauler. It gives us an 11-foot garage, and I believe it is like, oh crap, it's like 92 inches inside, wall panel to wall panel. Now, there's also some overhead cabinets and some things like that. If you need additional specific measurements, please give our team a call. We're happy to jump out with the tape measure, investigate that stuff for you. One of the things I like that they're doing here is they are using recessed D-rings, and if you notice, they have them kind of hidden mostly down under the benches or in essentially non-walkable areas. Like, you got to go out of your way. So you're not really likely to stomp on one of these. This does have a 5/8 tongue and groove plywood floor that those are screwed into. The rings themselves have a 2,500 pound pull capacity. And notice how it is completely carpetless and ventless back here, the way I personally feel all garages should be. For the most part, most RVs are good about that. I've seen a rare toy hauler or two that do still put like a floor vent in a garage. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It makes about as much sense as trying to slam a revolving door, which, by the way, is a very good way to keep my Uncle Gary occupied for a while if you need to leave him at the perfume counter. Anyway, That little black circle right there, that is a heat duct, and you do have only one, but you do have an air conditioning duct back here. You also have one in that bathroom right there, pretty darn close. So if you want to pump a little bit more cold air back here, that's not a bad place to do it. Let's slide up to the living area now. Now, on a note that is completely unrelated to anything and everything to do with this RV, I'm just going to throw this out there. Those little tags that ship in these Cherokee campers that hang off those ceiling-mounted subwoofers feel very similar to a spider tickling your ear if you just happen to back into it and you're not paying attention to what's going on. I'm just going to leave that little bit of knowledge there for you and let you kind of chew on that and digest that sort of as you please and as it works for you. So what's cool about this one? It has that private garage. That places pressure on the interior living space, however. So to help relieve that, they gave this thing a slide out. They also gave it a bit of a Murphy bed, which kind of gives this thing the, a bit of the living space of a super slide without actually having the extra length, weight, and cost of a full super slide RV. Now, a couple things here. If you take a little bit of a look at that Murphy bed, that is a Camp Queen measurement. Notice the household and USB outlets on both sides of it. And as long as we're opening stuff up, let's go ahead and just knock out all the storage. Like you see, normal bedside closets, overhead cabinet, storage under the bed down there. Not to mention the big dinette drawers. We've got ourselves that big 12-volt DC compressor fridge. Also, you might have noticed how I put that like cutting board backsplash behind the stove beside the stove. That's something I really like to do on these because RV manufacturers almost never seem to include something like that for us. I think it's a very easy way to come up with a side splash. Just a little pro tip for me. You might have noticed that's a big black stainless farm sink, and I love how they gave us a place for a wastebasket under there. Now, for the most part, this RV is carpetless. We will see a little strip of carpet under the dinette in the slide. I'm not trying to be cute and fire half-truths at you there. Now, one of the problems I have is that I'm a little bit taller than the average bear, so sometimes I forget to give you looks under overhead cabinets. A lot of times that's where manufacturers will hide power outlets. You notice, though, this one just has a big bank of outlets right over there, which is kind of cool. This camper really does have limited door side window coverage. I think a trailer like this, though, you're going to spend some of your time back in that Three Seasons room or outside. So I don't know how important that is, but I know some people really value that. You might notice, too, we're not really seeing out that window. You might be wondering what's going on. The Camp Kitchen door does cover that. That's the extra little details I am totally willing to share you whenever I stumble into that kind of stuff. I want you guys to know what you're getting into here. Now, something else I kind of thought about with this sort of folding, bendy Murphy bed here is if you look at this, like you got a little sofa right here, but it also kind of creates a neat little, almost miniature kid or dog or cat, like day bed back here. Which, I don't know, I think that is something my little dog, I could throw his little pet bed back there, and I think he'd be all about that life. Now, through my videos, I've made no secret of the fact that I don't personally love bendy beds. So you might ask, well, why do you keep carrying these campers? Because they still carry their own set of advantages. And just because I like or dislike something doesn't mean that, like, my word is the only word that matters. I'm not the authority on this stuff. So what benefits does this bring us? Notice how it maintains full storage above the bed that a normal flip-up Murphy bed traditionally can't. The other thing is, under the sofa, you still have a separate, like, inside storage trunk versus outside. It doesn't all mingle together. The other thing here is you notice how you see that sofa kind of sticking out of the front of it right there? What that kind of shows you is this is a Camp Queen mattress right now. It's 60 by 74. There's room here for a true queen bed. Now, obviously, if you're going to go to an 80-inch bed, you're going to have to decide, am I going to wrestle with a mattress or something like that? Or am I going to find some kind of custom folding mattress? Or am I going to go, you know what would work really good? Actually, a really good solution. If you want a longer true queen size bed in this, find like one of those foam factories where they can get you a 60 by 80 big, thick, comfy block of foam. And if you have to kind of shove it into the nose a little bit every now and then, you should still be able to do that. But what you're going to find with this floor plan, however magically it worked out, it can just close the slide out while still being able to leave the bed down even, I think, if you put a longer bed in there. Now, I'm thinking that, I'm not knowing that because I don't have a longer mattress here, but I do suspect this is a true queen capable floor plan. And if you need us to investigate that a little bit more, call our team member and, have them, hey, close that slide, measure out to the slide, make sure that thing can close. And we're happy to do that kind of stuff. We want to make sure we're getting the right RV for you. Hope you appreciate these extra little tidbits. Now we're looking at a standard series Grey Wolf 27RR today, not a black label, which is also available. Black label is going to give us a solid surface kitchen countertop on the inside here. It will also lighten up the dinette cushions a little bit, but other than that, in this area, you're not going to see a big difference. I did roll down that zebra shade over there, partly. Some people love them, some people don't. To that I say, zebra, yeah, later, see you later, zebra. Nope, that didn't land. That didn't land at all, actually. And by the way, if we are going to be semantical, which I do enjoy being, it is, in fact, zebra, like Deborah, but neither here nor there. One of the cool things you're, no pun intended, you're not going to have to deal with is upgrading an air conditioner. Because this, by default, comes with a 15,000 BTU air, keep you a little bit more comfortable in here. What's also neat about this, I'm going to sit right here at the sofa. This is your point of view. If you walk in, you've got the bed put away, you are staring straight at the entertainment center. And thankfully, the toilet is out of sight, so you're not making direct line of eyesight contact right there. My Uncle Gary at the local Walmart likes to, leave the door open when he uses the facilities. Uncle Gary's not a real person, by the way, in case anyone was ever curious. He's just this fictitious idiot that I made up. I think he's the dumb part of my personality. He's a fractured, splintered RV nerd personality here. Oh, I am tripping over. I don't know what's behind me. I'm wearing these big clunky boots, and it doesn't make moving around easy. 12-volt DC compressor fridge. I think I pointed that out earlier. Again, Black Label gives us solid surface counters here, but this does still give us sealed edge thermal foil. And actually, I think we've pretty much covered the living room space. Did I miss anything? You have any questions? Leave me a comment, let me know. Jumping back to the bathroom, whether it's the Black Label or the standard series, you'll still get that bigger vent fan up there. Also, this camper has a standard body size. It's 8 foot wide, it's 6.5 foot tall. Meaning big, tall loads or like side-by-side ATVs or something like that, some golf carts, depending on the height of the canopy, or big, tall people may struggle to fit in this thing. At my height, at about 6'3", you see that I could stand in the shower, but my head is, without a doubt, all up in that bubble there. Now, it does have a plastic foot flush stool. The leg room was just adequate, but the elbow and hip room was absolutely fantastic. And by the way, if you want to swap out to something like a porcelain toilet, typically, with very few exceptions, that's something we can do for you very easily at Bish's RV. And as you're climbing out of the shower, this could be what you see. This was actually a bit of a surprise to me. I was really happy with how wide open that was. Because otherwise, this bathroom really is limited on storage space. So having a room down there for toiletries and a stack of towels, not too awful bad. Now, if I activate my vampire powers and disappear from the mirror, also known as crouching in the shower, it's a very exclusive high-level yoga maneuver known as crouching RV hidden nerd. And I actually thought one of the best ways, I think, to demonstrate how good this one is in road mode, all closed up, is to actually start in the garage. Now, I just kind of quick folded this whole bench thing down to sort of simulate, like, what if something was loaded in here? Now, huge recommendation, guys. This is a major safety towing tip right here. You want to make sure you load your stuff in the garage as far forward as you reasonably can. You see these little humps right there? Those are your wheel wells. The closer your load is to being like above or on top of those, the better it's going to be. Cargo way behind the axles will introduce wicked tail whip and sway and cause you to lose control. Let's say you had a vehicle that was properly equipped to handle this. Improperly loading the RV could still result in a dangerous scenario. Now, that being said, you see how we can walk straight through the bathroom here to get ourselves up to the living area. And check this out. There's enough space, even with that big U-dinette closed up. even with the nice chunk of countertop space here, and even with the bed down in the sleeper position, we can still front to back to front again navigate this RV without ever touching a slide out. You can use one door to walk in, around, and through the RV. So this is one of the, I think the most surprising facets of this trailer is how travel stop friendly it actually is. It totally passes the turtle friendly Cracker Barrel test. And speaking of that, a little insight into my life. I'm such a Toys R Us kid that to this day, if I do stop at a Cracker Barrel, which admittedly is like any time I get the opportunity while we're traveling, I can't help it. They're pancakes. Oh, anyway, and bacon. Oh, but cream soda. I never can choose between an orange or a grape cream soda, so I always end up drinking one of each. And everyone's like, yes, I'd like an iced tea, I'd like a water. I'm like, I want a cream soda. Stomping through the snowbanks here, getting you a good look at that slide out. Notice it is slide awning prepped and ready. So that's a pretty easy thing for us to drop on there for you. Also in the front corner, you see a full hot, cold outside utility shower. Now, like almost every Cherokee, this has their Cherokee juice pack on it, which with the snow on the roof is not doing a lot for us. The juice pack is a simple battery tending solar panel system. But a lot of times people will ask me, yeah, but if it's got solar, why do I need to take the battery off and put it on a tender all winter? Won't the solar take care of it? With 2 inches or 3 inches or however much snow we accumulated last night, I don't know. The solar panel's not doing anything for us anymore. So that battery would sit there, and even if the disconnect has been flipped, it would just slowly die, because even a disconnected battery actually has a passive decay pattern about it. That is why in the winter like this, I highly recommend making sure you take the battery off the trailer and put it on a little battery tender somewhere out of the way. That's just a little pro tip for you here. Cost you nothing from Uncle Josh here at Bish's. Anyway, power tongue jack on the front, doing the heavy lifting for us there. This does not have a full pass-through. However, what's interesting about this is it does still have a pretty big compartment right there. Now, with that sofa Murphy bed, it can be a little tricky to get to from the front side. You might want to partition that off. As I say that, I think I may have actually earlier described this as a separate inside-outside storage. That is not the case, but you could panelize that. So apologies if I misstated that earlier. That is a correction there for you. The spare tire is optional, but on this floor plan, it pretty much has to be stored in that front pass-through because you don't have a rear bumper or a rear cargo rack to attach it. The little Minicamp Kitchen, oh my God, I must be excited. My voice just jumped like 6 octaves. But the Minicamp Kitchen, let me dial it back just a bit here. Sorry, I do enjoy campers. I get excited about this stuff. I won't apologize for that. Although I did just say sorry. Sorry! Now I'm saying sorry because I'm saying sorry. Moving on. Minicamp Kitchen, I think, was a really smart add to this floor plan. Little simple cooker, dad's outside medicine cabinet, ice maker, and that is actually another hot cold utility shower since it doesn't really have full room for a sink. Now, if I back up a little bit, if there was, I think two things. If there's 2 things I'd change on this floor plan, it'd be getting rid of the carpet and the dinette. The second thing, I would like to see that awning extended back past the door, but I don't know. Maybe they're just, it's a hard time getting the right awning sized up for something like that. Not too sure. Now, the underbelly of this is not fully enclosed. The area of the underbelly where the holding tanks are located, however, is enclosed. Now, as we get back here, you see the little leash latch back there to keep your 4-legged furry friend from running around the campgrounds unattended, which seems to be one of the most common complaints people have with their fellow RV enthusiasts. Please keep your dogs at your campsite rather than running through someone else's campsite eating their hot dog buns or something. I don't know. Back here, obviously we've got the ramp patio package. Notice though, up there, like as we're leaving the patio and going into the RV, I did drop half of that little roll down tent screen wall. Now there's obviously another half that matches it. Kind of like when you have a mismatched pair of socks, you have another exactly the same but opposite mismatched pair of socks at home. Just so that you could kind of get the idea. Now you see that antenna sticking up top right there? That is your Bluetooth backup camera that comes standard on these. Nice little handy dandy safety feature here. So one of the things that I don't know you're really seeing well here, but the ramp patio latches are actually a more positive cam lock situation, which can both key lock and padlock for
double security.
So thank you very much for joining us once again, folks. If you appreciate the way we go through these, even when it's freezing outside, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't, like our video, and drop us a comment, if nothing else, just to say, thanks, nerd. Means a lot. Take care, stay safe, have fun. Make sure you check the links in the video description, by the way, to see where we have one of these and what we're asking everyone. That was a long closer.